Hey Facebook, how's it going? I'm here with my new friend Carter. I'm not sure if you guys can hear us pretty well. Looks like a helicopter's landing over there at St. John's. So hopefully everybody is safe there. But I just want to give you guys kind of a quick intro. What's up, Jeannie Moon? Today at 4 o'clock, if you guys have News Channel 6, you can tune in and hear a little story. And obviously we're going to share some of that today. About Carter, but Carter is traveling across the nation. And where'd you come from?
Michigan, Midland, Michigan. So yeah, like right about there on the mid. Yeah.
And where are you heading?
Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you?
Right now we're in Tulsa. You're with Mike. Yeah.
What's up, guys? What's up, Anthony? Yeah. So we're in Tulsa. Just had lunch.
Yeah. Mike got me lunch. A bunch of numbers got exchanged through the Facebook groups and stuff, and I came into contact with Mike, and he's been showing me around the city. Took my bike in, he got looked at, took me out to lunch. Great guy, yeah, been great.
Well, been a pretty good day so far. So he left 25 days ago.
25 days ago. Yeah.
25 days ago, he left Michigan. So why'd you leave?
I was very depressed. I was kind of in a tough place. I wasn't really going anywhere. I felt very stagnant. It's kind of hopeless, honestly. And I just figured that I'd always wanted to do something like this. And I don't have a lot of obligations at my age, but I also wanted to kind of inspire other people to do things like this, that they value. And so I just did it. I left. So far it's been everything I hoped for and more. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I feel like hopefully I'll help raise a little bit of awareness about struggles with mental health and maybe just in struggling in general, too. But in how that there's light at the end of the tunnel, there's hope. Because I was in a very dark place about 2 months ago. I was actually in a psychiatric ward for suicidality. And here I am now, I'm doing something that probably a lot of people wouldn't expect somebody who struggled with depression and anxiety to do, and I'm doing it, and it's okay. And I couldn't do it without all the amazing people I meet along the way, but, I'm out here doing it, regardless of those struggles, and using them, not seeing them as a flaw, but as an opportunity for vitality and starting anew and looking at things differently and being able to appreciate that juxtaposition, right? How I could have been somewhere very dark and now I'm here. I just really feel like I've been able to help a lot of people out.
That's pretty cool.
Or trying to, at least, yeah.
So why bicycles? What started that?
Well, I've never been a big cyclist up until about 6 months ago. I was living on my own. I didn't have much money, and my English teacher actually let me borrow her husband's bicycle to get to work. I was a barista at the time, and so I started riding my bike to work every day, rain or shine, cold, whatever, it didn't matter. And I really liked it because it's the perfect speed to you can get things done at a modern pace, but you can still stop and appreciate things. You take in all the smells, all the sights, the sounds, everything. You're not enclosed at all. You're really vulnerable. And there's a lot of opportunity stems from that vulnerability, I feel like,
So cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Can you guys imagine just waking up today and going, I'm going to go ride my bike across the nation. It is such a cool freedom to be able to have an experience. And at that age, he was 17 years old when he started, right? Turns 18, a couple of days ago on the ride. Can you imagine at 17 riding across the nation with little to no money, just figuring it out, whatever you're going to do? And one thing you shared earlier, which I thought was fascinating, is, when you're struggling with mental health, and that's really kind of what this whole thing's about. I think we all have our own individual hurts, our own stories of depression, of suicide, and with everything going on in the world right now, with teenagers especially, suicide is becoming more prevalent. There's so much isolation. There's so many things on social media that says you are not worthy, you are not worth it. and he was told the same things, right? I mean, like, that's part of the reason he was in the mental health institution. And so to go out and find the freedom of health and healing, you know, at this age, I just think it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it just blows me away that, because I think you said something that kind of started all that, was when you first started, right, they told you that you couldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
why? Why can't you do it?
Well, I have a pretty severe anxiety disorder. I have also really powerful depression. I mean, and I needed medication, I was told, for those things. And I don't resent medication at all, for the record, but I would have to quit my medication pretty much cold turkey to do this trip. This is a very, you know, this can be a very stressful situation, a way to navigate through the world sometimes, right? You don't know where you're going to sleep at night. You don't know who you're going to meet. There's sometimes you have to go without food and things like that. And so a lot of people told me that, you know, this is not a good idea. This is not going to end well. You're not going to be able to finish this. But I found, like I said, there's sort of a lot of opportunity stems from that vulnerability. And when you learn how to rest in that vulnerability and just let things be and stop, you're not trying to control things too much. You're just letting it all happen and trusting things. And we were talking about this earlier, how, in a sense, when you let go of power, a tremendous power comes to you, when you trust everything goes according to plan, because you trust it, right? You know that it's for the better. Or maybe not even for the better necessarily, it just is, right? And you stop trying to control things, and you stop worrying so much. It's not that I don't ever feel anxious or depressed or anything. These things come, but I've learned how to just give them space, sort of, and just let them, just be present with them, honor them, right? Not reject them, not call them broken and flawed and nasty and, unworthy of attention. Just really being present for them. And then when I acknowledge them, when I sit with them and I let them be with me, and I don't try to control them, right? I just acknowledge them. They tend to pass away, right? And same thing with good emotions, right? They come and they go. They're like waves. They roll off into the distance and disappear. So that was really tremendous help in my being able to do this trip, and that was something that I didn't get taught about, in a psych ward, right? I was told that I was broken, I was flawed, and I wasn't going to be able to do anything like this. So, yeah, I'm really grateful that I've been taught all these things and that I've had the opportunity to learn that. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, this is just a little part of his adventure, right? Just kind of want to share this with you guys, and obviously has a long trek to go. Maybe middle of next month, right? He's hoping to land in Los Angeles. So his goal is to ride Route 66. An interesting way to connect, I would say. So somebody made a post locally on our Tulsa Facebook page. It's actually a guy he met in Iowa.
Yeah, or Illinois. Yeah,
okay.
Pontiac, Illinois. Steve.
So Steve in Pontiac, Illinois, if you're watching, man, this is for you. So he makes a post and says, hey, here's this guy. He's in town. He's got a hole in his tire. Can someone help him? And by random chances of us just all connecting, I happened to meet him in Sapulpa. As soon as I'm standing there, a friend of mine, his name's Mike, who owns Gasoline Alley out there. Really cool place on Route 66.
Yeah, very awesome.
Gonna have to check out that
cool.
place. Can't wait for the grand opening. But, he sees me. He's like, hey, Mike, what are you doing here? And so before you know it, we're over at the chamber. We're getting pins. We're getting Route 66 little passport book. Newspaper wants to interview him. It's been a pretty wild day.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
Got to meet News Channel 6, so they did an interview for him. So that's at 4:00 today that they're going to air that little story. But I think it comes together as in a world of hopelessness, of hurt, of anger, where everybody's out to get each other and nobody wants to help each other. On a day like today, he wakes up in a field, just like most of his days, just trying to move along for the day. And all of a sudden, we've been to the gathering place.
An avalanche of kindness and connection.
Of so many random people who just want to help and encourage him along this trip. And so thanks to Mike, he's reaching out to all the people on Route 66. He sent out his picture to all the forums to be watching for him as he comes along, to give him a bed, give him a handshake, maybe have a meal with them. this is a great trip for him. It can also be lonely at times, right? When you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And so I think I've enjoyed, at least I know I have, and we have talked for hours and hours. He's extremely bright. He's extremely connected. I mean, for his age, for the maturity level of where he's at, like, I encourage you guys, find him along the way. Have a conversation with him. Because I know you won't regret, you know.
Yeah, I love talking to people.
That's
meeting
so
people.
fun.
It's so fun, man. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, the last part of this, I'll kind of tie into everything else, is so this June, we were supposed to do Race Across America. So there's a group of us here in town, of all my cycling buddies, that we were going to do Race Across America. So we're going to ride from California all the way to New England, and our goal was to do it in 7.5 days. The name of our team is Team Suicide Prevention. So all of us have been affected in one way or another, would be a friend, a family member, by, you know, someone who has taken their life or the life of others. And we just want to raise that awareness, like what he started off talking about. Nobody should have to do this alone. Nobody is so broken that they're not fixable. Nobody is so unworthy that they don't deserve love, right? And we need love from ourselves. We need love from others. We need to connect others and help others. And so that was kind of the point of our race, which we will be doing next year. So Team Suicide Prevention will be going for 2021, and our hope is to ride our bikes across the nation while we spread hope and awareness for suicide. And my hope is that he's going to do it with us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. Yeah.
Be part of our team and ride across the nation. Obviously, he's going to have way more experience than we will after he's done with this, 2-month-long journey solo. And so, but excited to get to know him better. And so there's a lot of people in town. I'm going to post some links later, just talking about like the Coffee Bunker here, Hope is Oxygen. Those are great organizations for people who need that outreach, who need that extra hand, who need a hug, who need a letter, whatever it is in the day that they're seeking. But I just thank you guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, it's been great, man. Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to give you guys his Instagram. Follow him. Listen to his story along the way. See the cool things that he's seeing. Obviously, there's a lot of cool sites along Route 66 for the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How long do you think you got?
Probably 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks.
Yeah,
something like that.
I do have his bike over at City Cycles. They're going through it, doing a tune-up. He hasn't yet worn a helmet, so if there's anyone out there that
I have for brief moments.
Yes,
but
he did have had an accident. Broke some helmets. So if any of you guys out there would love to donate a helmet, buy a helmet, I'm gonna put some money in a Venmo account just to make it, just to make it easier right along the way. I mean, like, still think it's part of his experience, but if we can bless him a little bit and give him a place to sleep. If you own an Airbnb from here to California and we can get him a place to stay, or you want to buy him an Airbnb, not that I'm against sleeping outside, because I think it's a lot of fun, but I think being able to take a shower every once in a while would be
very nice.
would be nice too, right?
Yeah.
So let's help out one another. I hope you guys have an awesome, blessed day, and keep an eye out for him.
Yeah.
It should be fun. We'll see you guys later.
Absolutely. Bye.
Have a good day. So downtown, Route 66, out for a walk, and I wanted to chat with Carter, see how he was doing today. So hopefully we can get him connected. Hey, what's up, Carter?
Hey,
How are you, man?
pretty good. It's I'm in Texas right now. I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 10 miles outside of Shamrock.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed at the Western Motel. They put me out there. That was really nice of them, really kind.
Cool.
Jody. Yeah. And now.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I met her just behind the counter. She was just working the counter or whatever, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you." Yeah, that's really funny.
And he happened to be a cyclist?
What's that?
I said, and he happened to be a cyclist?
Oh no, that was Jody. So Jody, is the co-owner of the place.
Okay.
And then, but I met another guy named Joe Bob there, and I had dinner at his house. And yeah, he's a cyclist in Shamrock. Super cool guy. We had an awesome dinner. His family's really cool. They own a cool little bakery and cafe.
Okay.
It's so cool, like locally sourced everything. That's where I started the morning today.
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, great.
So you just happened to stop at the hotel or what?
Well, yeah, so, okay, I had Andy Dyke from Oklahoma City and Tammy and Melissa and Brian and everybody. They had contacted some people in Shamrock, or in Elk City, excuse me, back in Oklahoma, and they're like, hey, do you know anybody? I met a guy back there, Jeff, who knows this gentleman named Joe Bob,
Okay.
Shamrock. And so he, initially offered to host me. And then he called the hotel. He's like, hey, there's this guy that's coming down and he's doing something. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've already heard about him. So
no way.
So cool. So, yeah, like, it's funny how they're, like, interested, Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how's the weather?
It's pretty, it's hot and dry, man.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I mean, right, that's a pretty green field. That's, like, the most green I've seen, this day and a half. Like, most of it is just kind of this stuff.
Yep.
Feel dry. But I kind of like it, it's cool.
Good change of scenery. No hills, right?
Yeah, pretty much none. Yeah, it's just kind of rolling. It's not. That's a nice change, man.
Yeah.
So I'd finally be on flat ground again.
I'm sure your legs appreciate that for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. That's what happens when you're in the boonies.
Right. Yeah. But so yeah, after Oklahoma City, I stayed with Keith, who's awesome. He has that awesome haven for cyclists, long distance cyclists. Beautiful backyard, cool garden, fed me and everything. Really neat guy. And from Keith's, I went down to OKC, where I stayed. First of all, really cool city, and I stayed with Tammy, your friend, I think. Yeah,
she's awesome.
She's an awesome lady. So cool. Made me vegan Chinese. Which is really impressive. It's hard to make vegan Chinese.
For sure. I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I met her friends, Melissa and Brian, which were super cool. Jeff, Andy, all those guys were super cool. And then we rode out with her riding crew called Team Awesome Socks, which is so cool. Marty,
I heard you got a pair, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I've been repping them. I put some miles in those things, so
that's awesome.
I want to be wearing them all the way home. Yep. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I rode out the city with them. They took such good care of me, man. And then they even set up places for me to networked a little bit and set up places for me to stay, coming out of Oklahoma and into Texas. Really cool people. Yeah, so I've just been so blessed to have all this connection, all this networking, this help. It's been really amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, she sent me pictures of you and Lucy. Sounds like you guys kind of hit it off.
Yeah, her dog is awesome. Lucy is she's like a bundle of energy, up on the kitchen table and everything. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
So cute. Yeah.
That's so great. Well, where'd you go after that? I'm trying to think. So you left OKC.
Let's see, that day I would have gone to, I think it would have been Elk City. Yeah, Elk City.
Okay.
From OKC, and I rode out with Team Awesome Socks, so we did 25 miles together, which was so cool. Wow. Great. We stopped and got. We were gonna go and stop at Sid's, the famous onion burger joint, but they were closed for a wedding. So, small town, right? Yeah. Small businesses. Yeah. So we just went to the other place across town, which was really good. And then from there, we said, goodbye, which was really hard. And then I rode down to Elk City, or over rather, and that's where I stayed with a gentleman named Jeff, super cool guy. He does so many things for a living, it's crazy. He and his wife both. They do a part-time bike shop, part-time oil field. Wow. Yeah, he works on he does all kinds of. That's 1/10. I can't even remember all the things he does, man. Cool. So I stayed with their family, which was really cool. And from there, from Elk City, I was in Shamrock last night. So I crossed out of Oklahoma, which was kind of sad, like, people and everything. Now I'm leaving and into Texas. But I've already met a lot of cool people in Texas, too. And obviously, like, I'm totally getting back in Oklahoma, right? Like, how could I not after all this, all these
too many good connections, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So you got a big fan club, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks to you guys. I mean, really, man, you really helped me out with that networking and everything. Like, thank you. I really appreciate it. And everybody that I met, it's so cool. Like, I've never met so many amazing people in one place.
Well, I've been pretty blessed. I think I've been riding maybe 12 or 13 years, and it's amazing the community of cyclists that are here. Like everybody really is wanting to take care of each other and lift each other and encourage each other. Like I've never seen anything like it. Like it's quite the group.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So blessed to have bumped into it, man. That's cool.
Yeah, so cool. Let's see. I'm trying to think where else you went. Oh, you went to Weatherford, right?
Yes,
how was
that's
that?
right. How did I forget about Weatherford? The Weatherford was also great. Like, this is why I'm like meeting so many cool people. Like, I'm totally gonna, like, my Oklahoma post is gonna be so big because like there's so many cool people and places I saw. Weatherford was awesome. I'm trying to remember. This is where it's like. So I started in OKC. Yeah. So before I went to Elk City, I went to Weatherford, I believe, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that was a good time too. I mean it's just hard to describe like how surreal it is. Like to just have people welcome you to their home, and like show you all this loving kindness, and like it's unreal, So cool. And
so what would you say is your biggest takeaway from that?
I remember I used to be very frustrated when I experienced connection because it would go away, and I realized that was because I was touching love and connection, right? I was touching it very briefly and then it would disappear. But what I'm starting to realize is that you can't touch something that you're made out of and that everybody around you is made out of, right? It's like trying to swallow your own jaw. So when you stop reaching for it and grasping for it and just are present for it, it just totally consumes your being, and everybody around you is just
wow.
You just like this divine spark in everybody around you. It's really cool. And so I guess the best way to put it would be that like we don't touch love. Like we are like as human beings, we are fundamentally made out of love. Like that's what we are. Expressing it. It's love. We are an expression of love. It's so cool, man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, man. But it's just so cool to see that play out.
That's awesome, man. I don't think you could have said it any better. I mean, it's pretty incredible what you continue to learn along the journey. I mean,
right.
Like everyone keeps
and
saying,
it's daily, like it's a process of remembering that, right? That like that's what we are fundamentally, right? Because it's so easy to forget, right? So, all these cultural messages and past trauma and things, you have to let go of that. And it's hard, right? Because it wants to come back. But daily, you're reminded in little ways or big ways. In my case, it's big. But, I mean, I notice it in little ways as well. It's just somebody smiling at you, right? For giving a high five. It's so cool,
Yeah.
Just absolutely incredible.
No, you're right. I mean, the connections are only as real as you make them too, right? I mean, I know that I was talking to my friend Jesse just earlier about this, and it's like we all have the opportunity, just like when we were eating lunch. So it's like, do we just acknowledge, oh, hey, thanks, take my order, thanks for the food, or do we really take the chance and opportunity to get to know who they are, right, and her story and what she's doing and what they're planning, and that just makes it more real, than just such the frivolous things that we do. Oh, I'm fine, I'm good, and off we go.
Right, sort of like it's like the difference between just like passing through the present to get to the future, which interestingly enough, you'll never get there, right? Or just like being here now, like acknowledging what's right here. And that's when you tap into that thing that you're made out of, right? That you are. Yeah, it's really cool.
I love listening to you talk, dude.
You're a pretty good talker too.
No,
Man.
you're just so like I understand that you are 18 years old, but at the same time, like there's so much wisdom that just like pours out of you so naturally that it's captivating. You know, it's like it's hard to not just be completely engulfed in what you're saying. And so I miss talking to you. This has been good.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so sad. Like we got to know each other for like 2 days, and then like we had to split ways for a while.
It's over, yeah.
You know, we'll see. Like, there's no way we can't see each other again.
Oh yeah,
you know,
no doubt. Yeah, this is definitely a bond. And a lot of people I've talked to, I was like, we're so much of the same fabric. Which in ways, if you said, I know we are all the same, but our stories are so similar that it's just amazing the bond and the connection that it tied together so quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Yeah, right. It's cool. It's awesome. Man.
Yeah. So where are you heading today?
So I might push for Amarillo. That's gonna be, if I do get there, that's a pretty big ride. And if not, that's probably like 85 miles from here right now. I am. Or I might stop short in a town. Oh boy, I don't remember what it's called. Honestly, it starts with that's more like 50 miles from here.
Okay.
So I end up doing that, especially because I'm really tired. But I have a lot of hosts in Amarillo, like people that want to hang out and just chill in Amarillo. So I'll probably take a rest day or two there too, and just get people and like hang out here in Texas because I love it here, man. People have been super friendly, industrious, like in their own really unique way. I'm not sure how to describe it, and the landscape is so cool. I just love it. Like, so like barren, but things still like have a way of finding and making a way, like carving out a little space of existence for them. Cool.
And you're coming up on, I don't actually know, but you're probably 30 miles from it, but there's this humongous cross. I mean, it's like huge right off the highway. You won't be able to miss it. But it's kind of a cool story if you stop and read on some of the stuff and kind of why it's there.
Okay, cool, for sure. That'll be sweet, man. Get a couple pictures.
Yeah. Oh, man. Lisa says it's called Cadillac Ranch.
Okay, Cadillac Ranch. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So, lots of people on here all saying, hi, Carter, hi, Carter. So you have to go through and read all the messages.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get them.
Oh, can you see them?
No, I can't. I think it's because I'm not the host of it. So I can't see.
Yeah. They're all
I'll read them. I'll read them in a little bit.
Yeah, read them all later. So, well, man, have an awesome day. I'm so glad we were able to hear from you and connect. And I know a lot of people were wondering how you're doing. And a lot of them are just like me. They're like, I haven't seen him post on Instagram. And I'm like, you got to click his profile. Like, it's all us older people, right?
I actually will be posting on Instagram, with like Oklahoma and everything, kind of thanking everybody and getting a gigantic post just of like, commemorating everybody and all the cool things and people and experiences I had there. So
yeah. That's cool. Well, thanks for taking the time, man. I'm loving that the weather's so nice for you. You skipped the rain.
Right. Yeah. I missed it. So I'm glad. Yep.
All right. Well,
thanks.
Be safe.
Really
hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll keep in touch. All right. See you, Carter.
Bye.
No, ya.